2 words. Just 2 words completely changed a man's life. And by the end of this story, you'll discover exactly what those words are. But be prepared, because what I'm about to reveal goes against everything you believe about manifestation. His name was Ethan, an accountant, 34 years old, living a suffocating routine in New York City. A rented apartment, a leased car, and overdrawn account. You know that feeling, like life is pushing you into a deeper and deeper hole. That's exactly how he felt every morning. But something was about to change, in a way neither he nor you can yet imagine. Florence Scovel Shinn. You've probably never heard that name. Very few people have. She lived from 1871 to 1940 in New York, a time when women barely had the right to vote, let alone teach about wealth and mental power. But she discovered something so simple, it's almost frightening. Ethan stumbled upon Florence's teachings by chance. He was in a used bookstore in downtown New York City, looking for an accounting book. But his hands touched something different. A small book, yellowed with age. The Game of Life and How to Play It. He almost didn't buy it. Almost. Imagine if he'd given up at that moment. Everything would be different, but something, an unseen force perhaps, made him open the first page. And that's where he read about the 2 words. Now, I need to tell you something important. Florence Scovel Shinn wasn't one of those people who spout beautiful theories without practical results. She had something different, something most spiritual teachers lack: concrete proof. She helped hundreds of people manifest money, relationships, health. But not just any way. She had a specific method, and at the heart of that method were these 2 simple words. Ethan started reading the book that very night, and on page 47, he found the explanation. Florence said, there's a fundamental difference between those who can manifest and those who only dream. The difference lies in language. More specifically, in 2 words she called the keys to the kingdom. But what was the secret behind these words? Florence discovered something that modern psychology only confirmed decades later. Our subconscious doesn't differentiate between reality and imagination. But there's a condition. The language must be precise, surgical. Most people use weak affirmations. I want money. I need abundance. I hope things get better. Florence knew that doesn't work. The universe doesn't respond to requests. It responds to commands. But not just any command. Commands made with the right words. Ethan began applying the method. Every day, in the morning, he uttered these 2 words, not silently, aloud, with conviction. It felt ridiculous at first. He felt embarrassed. But Florence had explained something crucial. Embarrassment is a sign that you're stepping outside your comfort zone. And that's exactly where the magic happens. First week, nothing happened. Second week, still nothing. Ethan started to doubt. Normal. Florence knew this would happen. She called it a testing of faith. It's when the universe checks if you really believe what you're saying. But in the 3rd week, something strange began to happen. Ethan received an unexpected call. A former client needed urgent consulting. $700. money he wasn't expecting. Coincidence? Perhaps, but Florence had a phrase that explained these coincidences. She said, "There are no coincidences. There are only spiritual laws working perfectly." And things were only just beginning. In the first month, Ethan received $1,640 in extra work. Money that appeared out of nowhere. Contracts that emerged without him looking. In the second month, $2,480. In the third month, $3,720. The amounts were growing. But Ethan still didn't fully understand what was happening until the day he discovered the true power of the two words. Florence explained in her books that there's a difference between manifesting and co-creating. Most people try to manifest, to force the universe to give them what they want. That never truly works. But co-creating is different. It's working alongside universal laws. It's aligning with the natural flow of abundance. And the two words Florence discovered are the key to this transformation. Sixth month, Ethan had received $9,560 in unexpected opportunities. Consultancies, freelance work, even a small investment that paid off. Eighth month, $14,440. 10th month, $19,120. The two words were working, but Ethan still didn't know the mechanism behind them until he found a letter Florence had written to one of her students. In that letter, she explained something revolutionary. The two words weren't just affirmations. They were a direct command to the subconscious, a code that completely reprogrammed the person's relationship with money. Florence discovered that our unconscious mind operates like a computer. It receives instructions and executes. But most people give confusing, contradictory instructions. The two words she found are different. They are a clear, direct command, impossible to be misinterpreted by the subconscious. And when the subconscious receives this command repeatedly, it begins to reorganize the entire reality around the person. 11th month, Ethan received an offer of partnership in a consulting firm. His share, $36,000. He accepted. First full year using the two words, $85,400 in extra earnings, in addition to his normal salary. But the story doesn't end there. Florence had discovered something even deeper. She realized that the two words don't just work for money. They reprogram the person's entire energetic vibration. Ethan began to notice other changes. His confidence increased. His relationships improved. His health too. It was as if the two words had activated something dormant within him. In the second year, he earned $170,000. $170,000. It all started with two simple words that a woman discovered over 100 years ago. But what was the real secret behind these words? Florence explained that there's a spiritual law that most people are unaware of. She called it the law of spoken word. According to this law, our words have literal creative power. But not all words. Only words aligned with our inner truth. The words that come from the center of our being, not from our anxious mind. The two words Florence discovered have this unique characteristic. They connect directly to that inner truth. That's why they work so powerfully. Ethan told me that in the beginning, he found it all very mystical. But the results were undeniable. The money was showing up, opportunities were emerging, and then he understood something fundamental. It doesn't matter if you believe in the spiritual aspect or not. What matters is that the method works. Florence had discovered a technology of the mind. And like all technology, it produces consistent results when applied correctly. Year and a half in, Ethan opened his own consulting firm. Annual revenue, $1.2 million. Year 3, $1.8 million. Today, 5 years later, Ethan is one of the most successful financial consultants in New York City. It all started with 2 words he learned from Catherine Kuhlman. But wait, because I haven't told you the most important part of this story yet. Catherine discovered that these 2 words work differently for each person. They adapt to individual needs. For Ethan, they brought money. For others, they may bring health, relationships, career opportunities. The power lies in the precision of the words, in how they interact with the subconscious. And you must be wondering, what are these 2 words? Calm down. Before revealing them, I need to explain something crucial. Catherine always warned about a danger. If you use these words without understanding the principle behind them, they may not work. Or worse, they may work in a distorted way. That's why she always taught mental preparation first, then the correct method of application, and only then did she reveal the specific words. Ethan spent 3 weeks just studying the preparation. He wanted to be sure he was doing everything right, and it was this preparation that made all the difference. Catherine said that our conscious mind is like a gardener. The 2 words are the seeds, but if the soil isn't prepared, the seeds won't germinate. The preparation involves clearing limiting beliefs about money, about deservingness, about abundance. Ethan discovered that he carried several toxic beliefs. Rich people don't go to heaven. Money corrupts. I don't deserve to be prosperous. Catherine had specific techniques to clear these beliefs. And only after this cleansing did the 2 words begin to work for real. 3rd month after the preparation, that's when the money started appearing consistently. 6th month, when Ethan realized that something had permanently changed in his life. 1st year, when he had already manifested almost $500,000. But the transformation wasn't just financial. Ethan became a different person, more confident, more focused, more aligned with his purposes. Catherine always said that money is just a byproduct. The real purpose of the 2 words is to awaken the person's inner power. And when that power awakens, everything changes. Ethan told me that today he uses the 2 words not only to manifest money. He uses them to make important decisions, to create opportunities, to maintain focus on goals. The 2 words have become a part of him, a daily tool, a transformative habit. And now the moment has arrived. The moment you've been waiting for since the beginning. I'm going to reveal to you the 2 words that changed Ethan's life. The 2 words that Catherine Kuhlman discovered over 100 years ago. The 2 words that can transform your financial life as well. But first, I need to ask you an important question. Are you really ready to hear this? Because once you know these words, there's no turning back. Your life will change forever. Ethan told me the same thing. The day he discovered the 2 words, he felt he had crossed an invisible line, as if he had entered a secret world that had always existed, but that he had never noticed. So here it is, Catherine Coleman's 2 words, I am. Stop, take a deep breath. I know you must be thinking, seriously? That's it? I am? That was exactly Ethan's reaction at first. He expected something more elaborate, more mystical, more complex. But Catherine had discovered something that modern neuroscience confirms today. The simplest words are the most powerful because they go directly through the defenses of the conscious mind. I am are not just 2 words. They are a programming command, a code that directly accesses your subconscious. And here's the secret that Catherine discovered. When you say I am, followed by anything, your subconscious accepts it as absolute truth. I am prosperous. I am abundant. I am rich. I am successful. Ethan started using I am prosperous every morning. 5 minutes, aloud, with complete conviction. And the magic really started to happen. Catherine explained that there is an energetic difference between saying, I want to be rich, and I am rich. The first sentence keeps you in a state of desire, of lack, of need. The second sentence changes your identity instantly. When you say, I am rich, you're not asking for wealth. You are declaring a reality, and the universe responds to declarations in a completely different way. But wait, there's more. Catherine discovered that the words I am activate something she called the inner creative force. It's as if these 2 words are a key that unlocks a power that has always been within you. Ethan told me about the first time he really felt it. It was a Tuesday morning, the 4th month using the technique. He was in the bathroom mirror, repeating, I am prosperous, for the 100th time. And suddenly, something changed. He wasn't speaking the words anymore. The words were speaking through him. It was as if a higher force had taken control of his voice. At that very moment, the phone rang. It was a job offer for $25,000, the biggest contract of his life up to that point. Coincidence? Catherine would say no. She always taught that when you align your declaration with your inner truth, the universe conspires to materialize that reality. And here's what most people don't understand about the words, I am. They are not just positive affirmations. They are commands of cellular reprogramming. Catherine studied ancient texts, sacred texts, and discovered that I am appears in all spiritual traditions as words of supreme power. In the Bible, I am that I am. In Hinduism, I am Brahman. In Buddhism, I am Buddha. All traditions recognize that I am is the name of God within each person. And when you speak these words with awareness, you're activating your divine nature. You're reminding the universe who you really are. Ethan took 2 years to fully understand this, but when he did, his life changed forever. He stopped seeing I am as a technique. He began to see it as truth, the deepest truth about his identity. And that's when the results became permanent. 5th year using the 2 words, Ethan no longer needs to struggle to manifest money. Money flows naturally to him because he became a prosperous person inside and out. His identity changed, and when your identity changes, your external reality has no choice but to align. Florence always said, "You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are." And I am is the tool to change who you are. But there's a crucial detail that Florence always emphasized. The words I am only work when you truly feel them. It's no use repeating them mechanically. It's no use saying them without believing. You need to feel the truth behind the words. Ethan told me that in the beginning, he pretended to believe. He forced the conviction, but it didn't work well. That's when he discovered Florence's trick. She taught him to start with small truths. Instead of I am a millionaire, which he didn't believe, Ethan started with I am capable of earning more money. Instead of I am extremely wealthy, which sounded false, he used I am increasingly prosperous. Florence called this a bridge of credibility. You build a bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And each day, you expand your ability to believe just a little more. 1st month, I am capable of earning more. 2nd month, I am a prosperous person. 3rd month, I am naturally abundant. 6th month, I am wealthy in all areas of life. Ethan climbed this ladder of credibility for 8 months. And when he reached the top, something happened. Something incredible happened. He no longer needed to convince himself. The words, I am rich, came out of his mouth with complete naturalness, as if it had always been that way. And it was at that moment that the $170,000 manifested. Florence was right. The power is not in the words. The power is in the identity you build through the words. Today, Ethan uses I am for everything, not just money. I am healthy. I am loved. I am fulfilled. I am at peace. Each declaration builds a new layer of his identity, and his external reality reflects these layers. His company makes millions. His health is perfect. His romantic relationship has flourished. His life has become an expression of the words he chose to use. But Florence had a final secret about I am. A secret she'd only revealed to her most advanced students. There's a specific way to pronounce these words that multiplies their power tenfold. You need to say, I am, as if it were a prayer, with reverence, with gratitude, as if you were acknowledging a sacred truth about your nature. Ethan showed me how he does it. He closes his eyes, places his hand on his chest, takes a deep breath, and then speaks, I am, as if he were pronouncing the name of God. Because in truth, that's what you're doing. Florence discovered that I am is the divine signature within each person. When you speak these words consciously, you're signing a new contract with reality, and the universe is obligated to honor your signature. 8 years after discovering Florence Scovel Shinn, Ethan has a net worth of $854,000. 2 companies, a life he never imagined possible. It all started with 2 simple words, I am. But here's what I want you to understand. Ethan isn't special. He doesn't have supernatural powers. He wasn't born into a wealthy family. He simply discovered a spiritual technology that works. A technology that Florence Scovel Shinn decoded over 100 years ago. And this technology is available to anyone, including you. You can start today, right now. Choose an area of your life you want to transform. Build your bridge of credibility and start using the two most powerful words in the universe. I am. Florence said that these words are like seeds. You plant them today, but the harvest may take weeks or months to appear. The difference between people who succeed and those who give up is patience, persistence, faith in the process. Ethan planted his seeds in January. He reaped his first fruits in April. And today, 8 years later, he's still reaping. Because Florence discovered a universal law. When you change your identity through the words I am, you're not just changing a situation. You're changing the pattern of your entire life. And that pattern continues to create abundance indefinitely. So tell me one thing. If Ethan managed to transform $170,000 using 2 simple words, what's stopping you from doing the same? The answer is nothing. Absolutely nothing. The same laws that worked for Ethan work for you. Universe that responded to his declarations will respond to yours. The only difference is that now you know the secret. Florence Scovel Shinn spent her entire life studying these laws. Ethan spent 8 years applying them. And I just gave it all to you in a few minutes. The question is, what are you going to do with this information? Will you be another person who hears and forgets? Or will you be like Ethan, someone who hears and transforms? Because the 2 most powerful words in the universe are waiting for you. I am. They've always been there, since the day you were born, waiting for you to discover your true power. Florence knew it, Ethan discovered it, and now you know it too. What happens from now on depends entirely on you. But remember what Florence always said, your words are your scepter. Use them wisely, because they are creating your reality every moment. I am are not just 2 words. They are the key to the kingdom of infinite abundance that has always been yours by right. The door is open, the path is clear. Florence showed it, Ethan proved it. Now it's your turn.